Good evening. Here it is on a Saturday night. I took a bath. I got in my pajamas because I said, you know what, I'm exhausted. I was so exhausted. And then I got in bed and I laid there and I couldn't sleep. I know that I've literally have been making videos all day, but I have had so much progress. I have really feel like I've had like some major breakthroughs, and all I wanted to do was to be able to share what's really helped me really over the past couple of weeks. So the main thing that I wanted to talk about was really being worried about third parties. You know, if you have been involved with somebody and let's say they have ghosted you for somebody else, or they have ran off with somebody else, or any of these things. I know I have been through a lot of that over the past couple of years, last 3 years. And it's really hard on your self-esteem because you're like, man, you know, why am I not enough? Why? Why am I not enough for this person that, you know, they have to, you know, talk to other people, or it's like, you know, you feel this strong connection with somebody. Sorry, my camera stopped for a minute. You feel this strong connection with somebody and you're like, why don't they feel it too? Why are they still like shopping around and still looking for somebody else? And, you know, a lot of times when people come into our lives, the timing is not right. You know, a lot of times people come into our lives as like a catalyst to really help us to start seeing why we have attracted the same kind of people. The reason why, you know, we end up in the same type of situation over and over again, for us to really take a look at ourselves and to really ask ourselves, why, you know, for one thing, why do I feel like I need to chase somebody? Why do I get addicted to people? Why do I get hooked on people? Why am I always, it seems like always choosing people who are emotionally unavailable to me? And this really starts with us. Because a lot of times, you know, we rush in too soon, you know, and I had talked about that in my orgasms video that I did yesterday. You know, about a lot of times, you know, you really need to wait to have sex with somebody because you can form those sexual cords and really have, it's more of like a sexual addiction, you know, that you have to people. And, you know, you form an emotional attachment. This is particularly true for women. We tend to go all in and go hard and think that's what we're supposed to do. Me personally, I will chase energetically because, like, I was raised a certain way, like not to chase men. Like, I don't text or call men. In fact, it can kind of get on their nerves a little bit, especially, you know, when, you know, you're in that beginning stage of really getting to know somebody. And, you know, I'm like, look, you know, we can wait 2 months. If you're waiting to, you know, hear from me, we can wait 2 months because I don't chase men. You will never hear, I will never initiate contact first because that's just how I am. So that can be a little nerve-wracking, you know, for men a lot of times, you know. I had a guy who I had a sexual encounter with after he had like chased me for like years. Like years and years and years he had chased me. And finally, you know, like about, you know, a month and a half, 2 months ago, I was like, fuck it, you know, all right. I'm not one for casual sex. But, you know, he caught me on the right day. I was like, all right, let's go ahead and do this. And, you know, and the sex was great. But you know, I don't get attached to people anymore because this is something that I've cleared. And you know, he never heard from me. He kept messaging me talking about, well, you know, my sex must not have been good at all. And I was just like, you know, I can take you or leave you at this point. just because I don't get attached to people. So I've gotten a little bit off the subject, but I did want to talk about third parties. If somebody has, left you or ghosted you for somebody else, a lot of times we sit and we want to compare ourselves to that person, and that's where like Facebook is just the devil, man, social media, because then you find yourself looking and, like, okay, what does this person have that I don't have? And then you start comparing yourself, and there's no point in comparing. Because you have to know your own self-worth, first of all, and what you bring to the table, and don't be scared to eat alone. It's just that simple. I know I used to sit and obsess, and I'd be like, well, I wonder if he's doing things for her that he wouldn't do for me. And that was like my biggest trigger for a long time. Well, because he's left me, I don't know how many times for other women. My twin flame had, and if you understand the twin flame journey, you understand what it's all been for, and the physical, whatever's happening in the physical world really doesn't matter anyway. But for all practical purposes, we are dealing with physical shit. And if you're trying to detach, if you're trying to really get over the obsession and the obsessive thoughts, for one thing, you've got to stop looking at the shit anyway. If you have to deactivate your Facebook or Instagram, or I don't have a Snapchat. I know a lot of people do Snapchat, but if you have to like leave it alone for a while, do that. Especially if you're tempted to go look, because you really need to get in that mind space of out of sight, out of mind. But I know I used to sit and worry all the time. Well, I wonder if he's doing things for her, the person that he's with now, that he didn't do for me. And that drove me crazy. I used to drive myself crazy. I wouldn't be able to sleep at night. And I finally got to the point where I was like, you know what? I really do not give a damn if he is tickling her asshole with a feather. I just do not care. I don't care. Because whatever is meant to happen, whoever is supposed to be in your life is going to be. And you really have to accept that fact. And that is why you have to stop comparing, because a lot of times we can't see the whole picture. If somebody's left us for somebody else, you have to really set them free. You have to want them to be free, because you want to be free. And you have to want that person to really want them to be with you, not because you're trying to manipulate them, you're trying to control them, you're trying to chase them down so that they'll be with you, but because they really want to. And how do you know if they really want to be with you? Let this shit play out. Maybe there's something that this person is teaching them that you couldn't teach them, that's helping to prepare them. And not just that, but maybe the person is not for you. And the only way that you'll know is to let them go. But to sit and obsess and worry all the time and to try to compare yourself to somebody is like trying to compare apples to oranges. Everybody is unique and individual. And it's not a reflection on you. I know my biggest thing was of being made a fool of. Please don't make a fool out of me. Well, I faced that fear, because my thing was I wanted everybody to know that we were seeing each other. Everybody. And I really made it clear to all of our mutual friends, yeah, we're seeing each other. And so no sooner, and we live in different states, so no sooner than he was doing shit that I didn't know about, they were coming to me and telling me, which made it worse. And not just that, but then I felt some kind of way towards those people, and I ended up blocking them too, because it was so humiliating to me. And this really taught me a lesson about really wanting everybody to know your business. Everybody doesn't need to know your business, and I never would have been publicly humiliated, or I assumed I was. My inner guidance was, you know what? Everybody goes through this shit. Everybody's been heartbroken and disappointed. Everybody's got their own problems, and they're really not as focused on you as what you think they are. that was really one of my big fears, was, like I said, of being publicly humiliated and making, me look like a fool. So not only did I have the whole fact that I was heartbroken because I had been left for somebody else, and understand this has happened more than once, but that particular time people knew about it. I made sure after that nobody even knew what we had going on, because it was important to me not to be humiliated anymore, because it was humiliating, and it really did make my self-esteem take a dive. I spent a whole year getting hair extensions, having lashes, having acrylic nails, and I'm not taking away from any of those things. But I felt so bad about, like, my appearance. I was just like, God, I must be ugly. Even though, and I'm not going to lie to you guys, I knew that I looked, and I understand it's apples and oranges, and this is me throwing a little salt, but I knew as far as in the looks area, I had it covered. I'm just saying. But it's that comparison that will drive you crazy, that will have you up late at night worrying about it. I finally took off all my masks and was like, fuck it. This is me all day long. Take me or leave me. It's just that simple. Because I don't need somebody else to validate me anymore. And that's the point that you have to get to. That you know that you're all right on your own. And all that really is jealousy. And jealousy is an extreme fear of loss. I mean, it's like fear of loss on steroids. Jealousy, that's all that is that you are so scared somebody else is going to be able to take something away from you. Well, nobody can take anything away from you. Not that is yours. This might just be a break. And like I said, if this person is not with you, it's because maybe neither one of you were ready. And if you're wanting something so badly, you keep it away. It's that whole energy of, how many times have you walked away from a situation, completely gotten over the situation, and here they come. And this is either this is the universe testing you to see, if you're going to still fall for the same shit. Are you still in old energy of being stuck in the same patterns? Are you smarter and wiser, and have you shifted into new energy to where those patterns that you've been stuck in no longer resonate with you? Or B, this person comes in completely different, and it's a whole new vibration. But the only way that you're going to know is when it happens, but you really have to get in the place where you completely move on. Because that's how shit works. I mean, think back. I know I have never had an ex not return. Never. They always return. Always. At some point. And I know every time I've had an ex that's returned, with the exception of my ex-husband, because I had chased him for years. And I finally got to the point where I was like, when I chased him, what I would do was I would make sure I'd always pop up where he would see me. I was always like just popping up. I wasn't like chasing him by like calling him, or I was more sneaky with the shit. I would just be where I knew he was going to be at. And we would end up together. We had mutual friends. I'm like, I'm going to go hang out over there because I knew he was going to come over, that kind of thing. And finally, I had gotten sick of the rejection. I had really gotten sick of the rejection. And I said, forget this. And I had completely moved on. I was seeing somebody else, and here he came. You know, here he came through, it was almost like a whole year later. And he came back, and he was probably the only person, but like all my other exes, I was like, no, I don't want you anymore. I'm good. I'm done. I'm cool off that. I'm done. But, you know, like my ex-husband and I were together for 20 years, so evidently that was a relationship I was supposed to be in. Because if not, I wouldn't have been. Because the universe doesn't make mistakes. You have to get to the point that whatever is happening right now is supposed to be happening or not happening. So really stop judging the situation. Really stop trying to compare yourself to others. That is the big message that's coming through. And, you know, I laughed after I had said it to myself because I was in the bathroom one day and I had this thought come up. And, you know, I've been telling my thoughts to just be quiet. You know, I'm not going to listen to you. You know, it's not real. Whatever it is you're telling me, I don't want to hear the shit. Go away. Because I've really been trying to just resonate with my soul. And, you know, when this was just a couple of days ago, when my thought came up was like, oh, well, I wonder if he's doing this for her. Or, you know, maybe he's rubbing her feet at night. I don't know why I was thinking that shit. I was like, oh, and I got mad about it, you know, and I told myself, I was like, you know what? And you can laugh about this, like literally be this what you tell yourself because it'll make you laugh. I literally said, look, I don't give a damn if he's tickling her asshole with a feather. I don't care. I don't care. Whatever they got going on, I don't care. It's good. I'm not worried about it. So tell yourself that. You're going to laugh when you think about it. But, like, seriously, you just stop worrying about it. Sometimes you have to let somebody be somebody else's problem. Let somebody be somebody else's problem for a while. I mean, you know what type of person you were dealing with. And, you know, they're going to be the same way with this person. It's not going to be any different. In fact, it's probably going to be worse. It's probably going to be a lot worse because they're not you. I mean, you know, think about how awesome you are. They're not you. They don't have what you have. They don't have, you know, that magic you have. You know, and once again, you know, I know that's doing a little comparison. But, you know, sometimes you got to give yourself a little boost. Sometimes you do. You know, and I feel like, you know, if you're working on detachment or trying to get your mind right, trying to get over somebody, you know, it's by any means necessary trying to get over people. I know I used to put together a playlist and listen to some songs. And I found that really kind of feeds that yuckiness, that energy that, you know, I was stuck in. And so I had to stop doing that. You know, like I used to watch, you know, sad chick flicks and all that. I don't do that. I don't listen to mopey songs. I'm really just, you know, like I said, meditating, trying to stay out of the mind, not think at all. Every time a thought comes up, nope, I'm not going to believe that. I'm not going to believe that. I'm not listening to that voice today. You can take a back seat because I am all right here where I am. And that's the point that you have to get to. And like I said, if you do have to tell yourself, look, you know, I got the magic sauce, I'm not worried about it. You know, whatever they got going on, what's it got to do with me? It doesn't have anything to do with me. Let the shit play out. Let them be somebody else's problem for a while. Or, you know, until you no longer care. And that's when, you know, they come back around anyway. They always do. And then you could decide what you want to do then. But in the meantime, really focus on moving on. Really focus on not comparing yourself because that will drive you crazy. And like I said, it's like apples and oranges. You know, think about the feather in the asshole thing. I'm telling you, it helped me. I laugh throughout the day because every time I catch myself wanting to kind of compare, obsess about, I'm like, I don't care. Them do them. I'm going to do me. You know, whatever they got going on, like I said, that's their shit. That's their business. I'm focused on my business. I'm focused on being in the here and now, the present moment right now. So, I hope that helps somebody, because I'm really trying to share what's really been helping me, because I really feel so much better. And even when I do kind of get triggered, or I do kind of get, you know, kind of in the cycle where, you know, my mind is trying to take over, it's getting less and less. Like, I used to be gone all day in my mind, like all day obsessing, all day worrying, all day long. I wouldn't be present, gone. I'd just be gone in my mind. And now, I'm not. I'm really just reading the energy of my soul, because I read energy. That's how I read cards. So however you can connect your soul, all the answers are there. And anytime that I do get a thought, like I said, I just say, look, you know, I'm not going to listen to this shit today. And I just don't get caught up in it. And I think today, I kind of got caught up in my thoughts for maybe about 20 minutes. I was driving down the highway, and all of a sudden I was like, whoa, you know, what? How long was I gone for this time? Well, about 20 minutes today. So, I mean, that's not bad. That's not bad at all, but I caught myself and pulled it back, and I really am feeling a lot better, a lot more balanced, a lot more centered. Really releasing that fear of loss. And the key to releasing the fear of loss, like I said, is knowing that you cannot lose anything that's yours. It'll either be returned to you or replaced with something better. Point blank. So really make it a point of detaching from everybody. Have no attachments with people, period, whatsoever. Just don't do it, because it becomes unhealthy, and then it becomes almost like an addictive energy. So the way that you do not get attached to people is by not having any expectations of them. And like I said, really being present and not worrying about the past at all. I've had to just be like, look, the past is gone, and it really wasn't even real to begin with. Anything that's happened in the past really wasn't even real. It wasn't. You know, and once you start spiritually awakening, you will see that it's not real. The future's not real either, because we haven't created it yet. You know, whatever type of situations, we haven't created it. You're doing that now, right now, with your thoughts and everything, and, you know, what you believe to be true. So do focus there. Focus on telling yourself better stories, but definitely do work on your self-esteem. That's first and foremost the key. And stop comparing yourself to others. Seriously. Well, I'm going to try to go to bed, because as I was in bed and I was laying there and I was like, well, I think I just want to make one more video today. Tomorrow I've got to hit my sales real hard, and I'll have my Leo video up tomorrow, and I'm going to be doing my past lives reading. So if anybody's interested in watching and trying to connect to any type of past lives they've had, I really do enjoy doing them. I haven't done a past life reading probably a couple months, because I've had so much other shit going on. So I'm really going to start focusing on them, and I'm not doing the twin flame videos anymore. Instead, I'm doing these type of videos to help people. Because the key is, in these videos are for everybody, not just people on a twin flame journey, because everybody needs to learn how to do these things, how to detach from people, and how to put themselves first and have self-esteem and stop comparing themselves to others. But I'm doing these videos really in place of my twin flame videos, because I'm releasing that label. And the reason why I'm releasing that label is because it's a spiritual journey first and foremost. And he was nothing more than a catalyst for me to start spiritually awakening. And everything that we have experienced in the physical world up until this point has not been real at all. It's not been real. And I recognize that. And it'll come. It'll come to you. Trust me. But you've got to detach first. So work on detachment and watch my other videos. Thank you for watching.